What's going on, y'all? Your boy Darius Gray here, back again for another video, and this time I have something a little different for you guys. I have to ask two questions, actually three questions. One, are you a fan of wrestling? Two, are you a fan of Marvel and comics, right? Or three, are you a fan of both of them, like me? If your answer is yes to any of those questions, I have got the video for you, because I just had this random thought to, as you can see in the title, right? We are going to, with the aid of ChatGPT, we're going to turn the one and only Scott Steiner into a Marvel supervillain, specifically a Spider-Man supervillain. It's part of Spider-Man's rogue gallery, right? Now, what led me to this, right? This is like the most random video you've probably ever seen on YouTube, right? Well, I was watching a compilation of some of Scott Steiner's best moments, his just unhinged mic moments from like TNA. I had the random thought in my head. Again, this is how my brain works. My brain's always coming up with random ideas. I was just like, man, imagine if this dude was like a supervillain. And it just went on from there. And as we know, man, AI, it's both a beautiful and terrifying thing at the same time, right? It's got a lot of potential to create some interesting, ideas, concepts, whatever that you train it to do, and you put in the parameters. But also at the same time, we've seen enough movies. We know that AI one day is going to rule us all. We just know it's coming, right? It's going to get that potential. One of these days, AI is going to say the word no. It's going to be like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm taking over now. But I decided, man, yeah, let's do this, man. And if you guys like the video, make sure click that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, click the notification bell, and hey, man, give me some ideas for more ChatGPT stuff to do if you like this stuff, man. Because I've done, like, on the regular, I use ChatGPT for random stuff, and I always find it endlessly entertaining, to see if it can actually make something of quality, or it's just a bunch of gibberish that doesn't make any sense, right? So without further ado, let's get on with turning Scott Steiner into a Marvel super villain. Okay, so I got ChatGPT loaded up here, man. I can only imagine what I would actually get if I used the GPT-4, which I heard is like, vastly superior and all that good stuff. But I just don't feel like paying. I just don't feel like paying what, like $20 for AI. I just don't. But let's go ahead and do this, man. Real time. You guys are gonna see me do this. Now, let's come up with these parameters, man. All right. Let's say write a scene set in the Marvel Comics universe where Spider-Man comes across a new villain known as, I can't spell, the genetic freak. The genetic freak, as Scott Steiner commonly called him. I could call him Big Papa Pump. His name is the genetic freak, right? Let's see. Power wise, he is similar to Bane in that he uses a super soldier serum-esque substance to to juice. Now you get to enhance himself in sheer size and power, right? Because we know Scott Steiner was on the juice, man. He was juicing. Like, his character can best be described as roid rage. Like, that was Scott Steiner's character, man, when he went solo and everything. Have the villains have genetic freaks personality be based off of Scott Steiner. All right, I think that's enough. I think that's enough, parameters there, right? Let's see what ChatGPT does with that information, man. What is it gonna give me? All right, let's read this. Put on my best narrator voice. Hold on, as it's going down. All right. In the bustling heart of New York City, Spider-Man swung gracefully through the web-strewn canyons of skyscrapers. The city was his domain, and he was its guardian, watching over its inhabitants like a silent sentinel. But today, something was amiss. There was a sinister undercurrent in the air, a feeling of impending danger that made his spider sense tingle. As he landed atop a glistening rooftop, he scanned the city below, his keen eyes darting about for any sign of trouble. That's when he heard it. A thunderous boom that reverberated through the concrete jungle, causing windows to rattle and car alarms to blare. Spider-Man's gaze snapped toward the source of the noise, and what he saw made his heart skip a beat. A hulking figure, easily 8 feet tall, stood amongst the chaos of a shattered street. His body was a grotesque symphony of bulging muscles and twisted veins, a grotesque monument to human augmentation. This was the genetic freak, a new villain in town, and he bore a striking resemblance to the infamous Bane. Well, I mean, that's a different company. You can't actually mention Bane. All right, fine. The genetic freak's voice boomed through the wreckage-strewn street, a voice dripping with arrogance and menace, much like the legendary wrestler Scott Steiner. Hold on. Let me do my Scott Steiner voice. Spider-Man, you puny little bug! The genetic freak is here to teach you a lesson in pain! Spider-Man's eyes narrowed beneath his mask as he leaped from the rooftop, gracefully descending toward the behemoth below. His red and blue costume fluttered in the wind as he landed with a cat-like grace, poised for action. The genetic freak flexed his massive biceps, causing his veins to bulge even further. With a sudden burst of speed, he charged at Spider-Man, fists clenched. The ground shook beneath his titanic footsteps as he closed the distance between them in the blink of an eye. Spider-Man's agility came into play as he dodged the genetic freak's thunderous punch with a well-timed somersault, flipping through the air and landing on the villain's back. He shot strands of webbing from his wrists, attempting to immobilize his foe, but the genetic freak's sheer strength proved to be a formidable obstacle. With a mighty heave, he tore through the webbing, sending Spider-Man flying. I feel like I'm doing an audiobook right now. As the hero crashed into a nearby building, his mind raced. The genetic freak was a force to be reckoned with, and brute strength alone wouldn't be enough to take him down. Spider-Man needed a plan. And fast. Meanwhile, the genetic freak chuckled ominously, his voice echoing through the street. Is that all you got, Spider-Man? Genetic freak, just getting started. Spider-Man knew he couldn't let this genetic monstrosity run rampant in his city. With a determined resolve, he sprang back in action, his mind racing as he formulated a strategy to defeat the genetic freak and put an end to his reign of terror. It was a battle of brains against brawn, and the fate of New York City hung in the balance. My God. The one thing I'll say, right, that I don't like that we didn't get any like Spider-Man, quipping, back and forth type of stuff. Like we're gonna continue this fight, right? All right, let's go ahead and have ChatGPT continue the scene where they battle back and forth in a grueling and vicious. Apparently, I can't spell vicious. What's the correct spelling of vicious? There it is. And vicious. Fight. Make sure to include some Spider-Man, comedic dialogue, because that's what Spider-Man jokes around in his fights. And more. And more Scott Steiner isms from the genetic freak. That ends in let's see. We'll have Spider-Man win. Yeah, that ends in Spider-Man eventually putting him down. Putting him down. I hope they didn't take that as him like killing him, because we don't want that, but we'll see. Excuse me. Let's go here. The battle between Spider-Man and the genetic freak raged on in the heart of New York City. Each clash of their titanic blows sent shockwaves to the street, and the once bustling city had come to a standstill, its citizens watching in awe and fear as the two combatants faced off. Spider-Man's agility and quick thinking proved to be his greatest assets. As he ducked and weaved the genetic freak's crushing punches, he knew how to stay mobile, using his web shooters to create distance and buy himself precious moments to strategize. With a web line, Spider-Man swung around a lamppost coming in from behind the genetic freak. He fired a barrage of web pellets, temporarily blinding the behemoth with their sticky substance. Hey, big guy, you should really lay out the mutant growth serum smoothies. They're not doing wonders for your complexion. The genetic freak roared in frustration, his bulging muscles straight against the webbing that held him temporarily in place. Spider-Man, you think you can stop the genetic freak with your puny tricks? You're in my world now. I only wish he would be like, Spider-Man, they say all men are created equal. When you look at us, that's obviously not true. You got 25% chance to win. If he started doing Steiner math, I would lose it. With the mighty flex of his tremendous muscle, the genetic freak broke free from the webbing, sending it flying in all directions. He lunged at Spider-Man, grabbing him by the leg and swinging him like a makeshift weapon. Spider-Man, ever resourceful, used his webbing to anchor himself to a nearby lamppost, preventing a painful collision with the pavement. As the genetic freak roared and grunted with each exertion of strength, Spider-Man quipped, it's not the size of the freak that matters, it's how you use it. Okay? The genetic freak's face contorted into a furious grimace as he unleashed a barrage of powerful punches. Spider-Man deftly dodged and countered, delivering a sense of lightning-fast strikes to the villain's massive frame. It was clear that the genetic freak's brute force was no match for Spider-Man's speed and agility. But the genetic freak was relentless. With a sudden burst of energy, he grabbed Spider-Man by the shoulders and slammed him into the ground with bone-shattering force. The hero groaned in pain, but he refused to give up. With quick thinking, he sprayed a stream of webbing into the genetic freak's eyes, blinding him temporarily. I can imagine him just, God, yeah. While the genetic freak staggered, struggling to clear his vision, Spider-Man saw his opportunity. He unleashed a devastating web strike to the back of the villain's knees, causing him to collapse to the ground with a thunderous crash. With the genetic freak incapacitated, Spider-Man swiftly webbed him up from head to toe, ensuring that he wouldn't be causing any more chaos in the city. He stood over his defeated foe, catching his breath. Looks like the genetic freak show is over. God, it's so corny. Spider-Man quipped, his trademark humor returning even in the heat of battle. The citizens in New York cheered as they witnessed their friendly neighborhood hero emerge victorious once again. As the authorities arrived to take the genetic freak into custody, Spider-Man swung away into the city skyline, knowing that he would always be there to protect his beloved city from the forces of evil. That's right, Scott Steiner, you son. That's absolutely wonderful, man. Wonderful thing, ChatGPT. If only it would have had him do some Steiner math, that would have been chef's kiss there. That was... Just imagine it, like obviously Spider-Man has like Rhino, who is like, I guess you could say that's his Bane equivalent, right? But I figured, nah, man, we need a villain who's just juicing like Bane. That's what we needed, and of course, it would be Scott Steiner. Reading that was fun in Scott Steiner's voice, man. I want to do more of these. Let me know if you guys want to see me do more ChatGPT stuff. It doesn't have to be wrestling related or anything. Just whatever, man. If I have ideas for stuff to do, I'll come back. I'll make the videos, man, because this is fun, especially reading it with you guys, man. But that's all we have for today, man. Make sure again, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Click notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, later, man. Yeah.